Your boss spent 4 years in business school. He has a LinkedIn profile, a corner office, and a leadership seminar certificate framed on his wall. His company is losing money. His team hates him. Nobody follows through on anything. Meanwhile, inside a concrete box with no Wi-Fi, no consultants, no PowerPoint decks, prison gangs run multi-million-dollar operations across state lines with near zero communication tools, zero tolerance for betrayal, near perfect compliance. How? They figured out something business schools refuse to teach. 3 things, actually. And by the end of this, you'll never look at leadership, loyalty, or organizational structure the same way again. Chapter 1. The hierarchy problem. Most companies are top-heavy disasters. 20 managers, 3 workers, nobody knows who actually makes decisions. Confusion everywhere, accountability nowhere. Prison gangs don't have that problem. They can't afford to. Here's how it works. Every major prison gang operates on a rigid tier system. At the top, a shot caller, 1 person. Final word on everything. Below that, a small council of lieutenants, usually 3 to 5, each controlling a specific territory or function. Below them, soldiers. Everyone knows exactly where they stand. Nobody overlaps, nobody is confused about their role. Organizational psychologist Elliot Jacquier spent 40 years studying hierarchy in corporations. His conclusion? Most companies fail because they have too many management layers with no clear distinction between decision-making authority at each level. The result is paralysis. Nobody knows who owns what. Prison gangs solve this by necessity. You can't have a committee debate in a yard where the wrong word gets you stabbed. Decisions need to be fast, clear, and final. Stanford researchers studying organizational clarity found that teams with explicit role definition outperform ambiguous teams by 35% on complex tasks. Prison gangs have been running that experiment for decades. They just didn't need a Stanford study to figure it out. Your takeaway? Flat is not always better. Clear beats flat every time. Know your chain. Own your lane. But here's the problem though. A clean hierarchy means nothing if nobody actually follows it. That's where Chapter 2 comes in. Chapter 2. The loyalty architecture. Most companies try to buy loyalty. Salary, bonuses, foosball tables in the break room. It doesn't work. Employees leave the moment a better offer shows up. Prison gangs don't buy loyalty. They build it into the architecture of belonging itself. Here's the mechanism. Entry into a prison gang is deliberately difficult. You earn your way in, you prove yourself over time. You take risk on behalf of the group before the group takes risk on you. Psychologists call this effort justification. The harder something is to join, the more you value being part of it. Leon Festinger's cognitive dissonance research at MIT proved this in the 1950s. Groups that required high initiation effort produced members who were more committed, more loyal, and more resistant to outside recruitment than groups with easy entry. The harder the door, the tighter the room. But it goes deeper than initiation. Prison gangs operate on a reciprocity engine. You protect me, I protect you. You take a risk for the group takes a risk for you. No freeloading, no passengers. Everyone carries weight or they don't ride. Robert Cialdini's research on influence shows that reciprocity is the most powerful compliance mechanism in human psychology. When someone does something for you, the obligation to return it is almost biologically hardwired. Prison gangs weaponize this constantly. Compare that to a typical office. Sarah does extra work on a project, gets no credit, watches someone else get promoted, leaves within 6 months. The reciprocity engine is broken. Loyalty dies. Most organizations talk about culture. Prison gangs build it through consequence and contribution. Every member knows the cost of betrayal. Every member knows the reward of loyalty. No ambiguity, no HR gray zones. Hit subscribe before you forget this. What's coming next is the piece most leadership books completely miss. Chapter 3, the information compression system. Here's what nobody talks about. Prison gangs operate under the most hostile communication environment imaginable. Guards reading mail, phones monitored, visitation supervised, movement restricted. And yet, information flows. Decisions get made. Orders get carried out across facilities, across states, sometimes across countries. How do they move critical information through a system designed to stop it? Compression and code. Everything gets reduced to its absolute minimum form: a phrase, a symbol, a number sequence. Researchers studying criminal networks at the RAND Corporation found that the most resilient covert organizations share one trait. They communicate in compressed, high-context signals that require shared knowledge to decode. Outsiders hear noise, insiders hear instructions. This is not primitive, this is advanced information architecture. MIT professor Alex Pentland's research on social signal analysis found that high-performing teams share one specific behavior. They communicate in short, high-density bursts rather than long, low-density meetings. Less talking, more meaning per word. Prison gangs with no other choice perfected this. Every word carries weight because every word carries risk. Now, apply that to your life. How much of your communication is noise? Long emails nobody reads, meetings that could be a sentence, presentations that answer a question nobody asked. You are leaking information bandwidth constantly. The fix is radical compression. Say the thing. Stop explaining the thing. Trust that your people know the context. Build shared language with your team so that 5 words carry the weight of 50. But here's the final problem though. You can have the perfect hierarchy. You can build real loyalty. You can communicate like a precision instrument and still collapse. Why? Because of one word: succession. Chapter 4. The continuity system. Every organization eventually faces the same crisis. The person at the top goes away. Arrest, assassination, transfer, retirement, whatever. And most organizations fall apart because they built a machine around a person instead of a system around a role. Prison gangs solve this the hard way. Leaders get removed constantly by rival groups, by prison administration, by prosecutors. The organization cannot afford to collapse every time that happens, so they don't. Because succession is not an event, it's a built-in redundancy. Every lieutenant knows the full operational picture, not just their piece, the whole picture. If the shot caller disappears tonight, operations continue tomorrow morning. Same structure, same rules, same direction. Harvard Business Review studied 100 leadership transitions in Fortune 500 companies. 70% experienced significant performance decline during transition. The main reason? Knowledge concentration. Too much lived in one person's head. When that person left, the knowledge left with them. Jeff Bezos built Amazon explicitly to be, in his words, a machine that builds machines. The goal was a system so self-sustaining that the removal of any individual, including himself, wouldn't break it. He understood what prison gangs understood through survival. Dependence on individuals is a structural weakness. Build systems, not cults of personality. Document everything. Cross-train everyone. Make yourself replaceable at every level. That's not weakness, that's resilience. The bottom line, prison gangs didn't read management textbooks. They didn't hire McKinsey consultants. They built organizations under maximum pressure with minimum resources and made them work. Clear hierarchy. Loyalty through contribution, not compensation. Compressed, high-signal communication. Built-in succession. No fat, no noise, no ambiguity. Your office has free coffee and still can't run a meeting on time. You don't need more resources. You need better architecture. But here's the problem. You now understand how the best covert organizations in the world are structured. But structure means nothing if your brain can't retain the information needed to lead. Most people learn leadership frameworks and forget them in a week. That's why I made this video breaking down exactly how surgeons memorize entire operating systems in a fraction of the time. It's almost unfair. Watch it next.